Africa Town, Chocolate City, Chowke-li-chung, the Wakanda of the Far East. Some of these are names that Guangzhou neighborhoods have earned over the past 25 years as it became home to the largest African community in Asia. How and why did Guangzhou attract so many Africans? Is Guangzhou still a thriving multicultural hub that is home to an estimated 200,000 native Africans? Or is Africa Town just a shell of what it once was? What is the Chocolate City like now as we enter 2025? I rode the subway from the heart of Guangzhou in Zhujiang New Town, just a few short stops to Xiaobei Station in Yueshou District. I still recall my first visit to Xiaobei in 2012, when I stepped out of the station and into the streets surrounding Xiaobei and being stunned with the diversity of people surrounding me. This time, it was different. Beginning in 2014, the permanent population of Africans in Guangzhou began to decline. While it has always been difficult to find official numbers, the previously thriving Africa Town began to face headwinds back in the early 2010s. During this time, increased scrutiny on migrants and more severe immigration enforcement led to clashes with authorities that caused the city's African population to begin to dwindle. But before we get to that, why were there so many Africans in Guangzhou in the first place? The obvious answer is, of course, economics. Africans, like people from everywhere else in the world, saw the opening up of China as an opportunity. Many Africans, particularly from West African countries of Nigeria and Mali, came to Guangzhou to be closer to the wholesale markets of southern China.
Let's go see what's in there. 老外来了。你们在干嘛？老外来了。你们在干嘛？
等你，欢迎你。
谢谢。这个地方都是批发的。
对。
不是直播，就是有关 YouTube。现在在录视频，但是不是直播。
不是直播啊。
多少粉丝啊？
我在国外2万多，不多。可以。还行。还有在中国也有2万，差不多。
可以。
差不多，这里是衣服还是什么？
衣服鞋都有的。
什么都有。我进去看一下。好，谢谢，拜拜。So this is a wholesale trading shop. You got everything. It is Sunday morning, guys. Sunday morning. Looks like a lot of it is closed. It's 10? What time is it? 11? Sorry, it's 11 in the morning. Sunday morning. So let's just go see what we can find. Beautiful African dress? I'm not sure. I heard that, I think it's Cardi B or... Seriously, don't get offended. I don't follow my female rappers that closely, but I think it's Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion or one of them that it has a lot of fans in China because they say how awesome and how great the Chinese wigs or fake hair or weaves or I don't know the details. Please don't cancel me, but one of them is really famous and popular here because of that. Hello. China has the best fake hair. I really don't know. Wow, look at that, 10 kwai to 15 kwai for soccer jerseys. Trying to get rid of them. So it looks like this floor has lots of sports apparel, clearly. We got LeBron James, Steph Curry, Bethel, I don't know what that is. Soccer, yeah, everything's closed.
The south of China was and still is home to extensive textile manufacturing, amongst other things. Beginning in the late 90s, West African business people sensing opportunity came to Guangzhou to source merchandise to take home to their countries. As their fellow countrymen saw them earning their fortune in China, this led to more and more Africans heading to China, and a new African gold rush in China was on.
Here we have electric razors, printer toners, all kinds of stuff. Why is everything closed today? Is it just because it's Sunday or? Everything's closed.
No, they will come.
They will come later?
They will come later.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Secondhand shoes, clothes, and bags. And they repair it and they probably ship it all off to Africa. Look at all this stuff all bundled up in there. It looks like ready to be shipped off. Or maybe just arrived and they gotta fix it up. I don't know. Got a barber here, African barber. Black hairstyle, it's really cool. I got lined up like this when I was in Cuba. I got sick lined up by a Cuban barber. My first time in Guangzhou, I went to an African restaurant. I'm not as cultured as I should be, but they had a goat head on the menu and people were eating it. And I got some sort of like soup thing. Anyway, long story short is it was really good. And I've never really ate African food before. Or since maybe. I've had Ethiopian food. They have like a big plate, you grab the rice and stuff and grab the bread. It's been a while. Anyway, it's not really in my wheelhouse. Like, I've never been to Africa and I'd really like to go. Anyway, keep going. So these guys sell all kinds of stuff. They got salmonella, brick making machines, ice cream machines, all kinds of electric appliances and machines they sell to Africa. I don't know, is this Congo? RDC? Democratic Republic of the Congo? Again, don't quote me on anything I say. Hello. So here's Nigeria, here's Mali, and again, this is my understanding, is most of the people here are from those two countries. Got Kwaidi. So yeah, it's pretty much dead here. And unfortunately, I can't stick around too long. Like I said, they're gonna be open later, more people will come. But I've actually gotta get out of here, get back to my home in lovely, beautiful Thailand. So my time is limited today. Waka waka. Hotel check-in. Oh, quite expensive actually. 380 a night. Single room 150. That's not bad. 为什么这么安静？
好多人还没开门，你们看好多商铺都没开。
已经快12点了。
你下午过来
然后下午1、2点。
每一天下午吗？
今天星期天。
我知道，星期天周末应该挺忙的。
没有太多人。
嗯。
现在好多回家过圣诞。
嗯。你们是做什么生意？租车还是司机？
对。
这边的非洲人都是从哪里？
好多了。
马里还是？
多呀。
每个国家。
各个国家都有。
他们都会说中文吗？
有些会，有些不会。
你们觉得非洲菜好吃吗？
没吃过。
没吃过吗？这里应该有。啊？
你是哪国家的？
你猜？
看不出来。
非洲？没有，我是美国人。
美国哪里？
加州。
加州。
嗯，你去过了没？没有。你哪里人？
天哪！
你是加州，他是郑州的。
都是郑州的。好的，好，谢谢。好，拜拜。再见。
老外 外来了，
老外来了，
你看你这个英文，
你
老外来了，
我知道，你看一下，看一下，
对，老外来了，
老外走了，
老外走了，
嗯，好，走了，走。Everybody here loves my shirt. They all love it. It says on the front, 老外来了, which means the foreigner has come, or the foreigner has arrived. Basically, the foreigner has arrived. And in the back of it, when I walk away, if I didn't have my jacket on, it says 老外走了. It means the foreigner is leaving. Very, very, very popular shirt in Guangzhou. Sometimes you go other places, people don't like it as much. I don't know why. But I still don't wear it that much because I'm too fat to wear it. It's too tight on me. But came back to China, I gotta wear my shirt. 不要，谢谢。很帅的车，挺帅的。
Most of the Africans who came to China did not have long-term visas. They came on short-term visas to source products, visit factories, and make connections.
Hey, you got a rider.
Some stayed. Whether or not they overstayed their visas or found legal ways to get long-term residency, ultimately the large influx of foreigners was beneficial to China, to Guangzhou, and to the Africans' home countries. The population of Africans in Guangzhou, at its peak, grew upwards of 40% per year. Besides the economic opportunities, why else did so many Africans end up in Guangzhou? The written records of Africans in Guangzhou can be traced to at least the 1300s, with the arrival of Moroccan explorer Ibn Battuta, while archaeological records of Africans in Guangzhou date back even further. Guangzhou has long been a melting pot within China, due to its strategic geographic location on the Pearl River and the South China Sea. Due to its geographic advantages, it has long been a major trading hub, and with it, the associated mixing of cultures and peoples. In modern times, it has large populations of ethnic and religious minorities, including large Muslim and Christian populations, as well as Uyghur and Huimin populations. Because of this, Guangzhou has a reputation as being a relatively open and welcoming city.
And then the other thing that we gotta mention is it's not just African people, right? There's people from different parts of China, North China, a lot of Huimin and Uyghur people. Basically, a lot of Muslims come to Guangzhou and live in this area, which is probably one of the reasons why a lot of Africans actually ended up settling here as well. Plus, it's a port city. Plus, there's lots of factories and wholesale opportunities. Lots of reasons. But then there's also people from like India, I believe, who look like a Sikh with his turban, and lots of people from the Middle East. So it's not just really Africa town, not just really chocolate city. It's people from all over the world come here to Guangzhou and congregate and work and live. And that's another one of the reasons why Guangzhou is one of my favorite cities in China, just because of how integrated and diverse it is. And I say integrated, but I don't mean like the whole town everywhere is full of like diversity, like San Francisco or Berlin or anything. Like the African people, similar to the Chinese people in overseas, like they form their Chinatown. Here they form their Africa City or Africa Town, right? And so it's not like there's African people living fully integrated all across the map here. They're concentrated, but I think that's fine too. I don't think people need to fully integrate everywhere. People can preserve their culture and their way of life, even in a new place, as much as possible, because that's what makes the world beautiful to me. Of course, they can do their best to integrate if they want and not be totally isolated from the world and the community. But it's up to them. As long as they're not bothering anybody, not hurting anybody, that's all that really matters to me. But I don't know, you guys tell me, what do you think? Let's go back in this neighborhood. You know, I never want to speak for anybody who's not myself. Obviously, I can't speak for any African person. I did do an interview, a discussion with an African who's living in the area, not in Guangzhou, but in Dongguan. His name is Willeen. He has a YouTube channel, and we did an interview. We talked to each other. I had a good time. So you can watch that, and you can learn about his experience as an African in China on his channel. I'll put a link in the description. This lady's doing her Guangzhou by herself right here. look at this road right here. So long, so narrow, so dark. Very, very similar to the urban village that I went to yesterday and I made a video about and should be posted on the channel. Again, these are handshake buildings. They're so close together. You can shake the hands of your neighbor. It's like a horror movie. Got one single solitary bulb up there in the corner. Guangzhou is just one of the coolest cities in the world, in China for sure. I gotta say, Guangzhou is probably like the most raw, most real feeling Chinese megacity. And obviously every city's real, I don't, you know what I mean though, like it's just so gritty. It's like the Hong Kong movies of the old days, Cantonese films. It's just like, I feel like I'm walking through something that's like authentically unique and special every time I'm in Guangzhou. Even like Foshan, places like that, really, really, really freaking cool. You know, people who have been to both places are probably going to disagree with me here, but I would say that Guangzhou and these kind of neighborhoods remind me more of like Naples in Italy than most places on earth. Like they're very different and yet somehow oddly familiar. I hope that makes sense. If you've been to both Naples and Guangzhou and you've walked around in local neighborhoods in both places, you let me know. Here you've got a lot more businesses serving Africa, international trade. You got logistics. You got foreign trade decoration company like Guangzhou, curtains. Look at that drip. So freaking sick clothes, man. I love it. Even the mannequins here in Guangzhou have wider hips. And yet you still have Tanghulu walking by. Really, really interesting confluence of cultures. And here's the Huimin, Muslim Chinese. More sick drip. These guys got Pakistani, African, Indian, and Middle Eastern cuisine. They got everything. Hey, 你好 ，Hello。那是鸡肉吗？牛肉。挺多的，多少公斤？25斤。25斤，好。Seriously, tell me, who knew you could find a place like this in China? China's amazing, still, after all these years. Still fascinates me to no end. You got homemade ice cream, and it's halal. 我品尝一下那个 mulberry， 不知道 mulberry 是什么，中文我不知道。Yeah， 那个中文叫什么？ 桑葚味 ，OK， 好，谢谢。给我一抽巧克力，一抽那个桑葚味儿。在一起可以。多少钱？那么便宜？公平哦。
收钱包到账12元。
你是新疆人吗？普通话蛮标准。Okay, so I got 2 scoops of ice cream in Africa Town, Chocolate City, in Guangzhou. The shop run by people from Xinjiang, and the ice cream's only 12 kuai. And what's more, you can add as many toppings as you want for free. So I added Oreo crumbles to it as well.
12元。
Fantastic. Very good. Not too sweet. You know, the desserts in China, never too sweet. Very creamy texture. I really want to go back to Xinjiang. I was last there in 2017, and since then, you know, it's been on the news a lot. But just an incredible, amazing place. Great people, great food, amazing vistas, views, scenery. I gotta go see more of it. It's so cool. Maybe self-drive next year. I move back to China, buy another car. I don't know. Probably not. But who knows what's in store in this life, right? You never can tell. So this right here is a Xibei restaurant, Northeast China. And it says it has Michelin rating. I don't know how many stars, or just Michelin recommends. From 2021, 22, 23, and 24. And it's very, very busy, so it must be really, really good. Next time I'm in Guangzhou, I'm gonna remember this place and come here and try it.
During the pandemic, however, some Africans began to feel targeted, both by the authorities and by some of the locals. They were accused of being disease vectors, and some were kicked out of their homes or hotels and forced to the streets. Due to a variety of factors, all foreign populations across China drastically reduced during this time, and the African population in Guangzhou was no different. Now, in a post-pandemic world, many locals have decided to cut out their African middlemen and sell directly to African customers. Many Chinese businesses have established direct relationships with their customers in Africa through social media like TikTok. A wave of migration has gone the other way, with many Chinese citizens now residing in and doing business in Africa. Africa Town is now a mere shadow of what it used to be. As you can see, Guangzhou is still a diverse multicultural place, with people and foods and languages from all over the world intermingling here. But it is a far cry from its heyday, its peak when again over 200,000 Africans lived in Guangzhou. It remains to be seen if it will reach its former heights again. But as with all things in China, everything changes very quickly.
So we got more products from Xinjiang, from Kanasi. But it used to be in China, like in the big cities like Shanghai, you would have people from Xinjiang on the corners selling raisins and dried apricots and stuff. And you don't see that nearly as much, if at all, anywhere. I guess now they have shops, or a shop. Hey, 你好，给我一个烤包子，谢谢。So yesterday I ate a kalbaozi in the urban village in Shipai, and now I'm gonna have a kalbaozi in Chocolate City, and we're gonna see which one's better. This one's better. It's seasoned really well. The mutton has really great flavor. There's that little touch of cumin on it, maybe some other seasonings. It's really good. I could eat kabaozi every day of the week. And this is why I gain weight whenever I'm in China.
What do you think about the chocolate city in Guangzhou? Do you have any stories from its peak? Have you been here? If so, please share in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and share. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.